evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this call. It is Monday evening, and we are on the 14th of November. And welcome to this call. It's Crypto Talk. And yes, the markets are doing the strangest things. And fortunately for me, I don't have to explain that to you because for that we have the whole team on the call to come and do that. And the key is that I don't have to explain it. I really, for little moments, I'm on top of where I think I am. And then for not so little moments, I don't know where I am. But fortunately, we have a whole host of people on the call tonight. And we will later introduce our special guest for the evening. And tonight, as we showed you on the screen, levels to watch in the next couple of weeks. We'll also talk a little about security and safety with regards to your coins. And we have a special guest tonight, and we will allow you to chat to the special guest, but not on an open chat forum, but you will be able to chat in the chat box. And we will see what we can answer, because we're in a space where not all the answers are obvious. And that's the beautiful part. But that's why we're here tonight on a Monday evening, to come and talk crypto. And allow me to start with our subject matter expert on crypto trading, our subject matter expert, Jason Ashington, and none other than Jason Ashington. And he told me earlier that he's busy with load shedding. He's sharing load with those guys that's on the call with electricity. And so Jason, without further ado, before we get to the special guest, just tell us a little bit what's happening in the market, where we're at. I've seen that there are interesting news coming around, what's happening in the world, in the financial markets, what's happening to the markets in the US. And I know that you have that all lined up for us. So Jason, without further ado, please just share a little with where we're at in the market.
Thanks, Daniel. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, so we haven't looked at charts for the last 2 weeks. We didn't have a crypto talk last week, but we can share the scene, and you can see what's happened, the top 100 coins over the last week. And this coin in the middle here is not Tiger Wheel and Tire, but is Trust Swap. That's gone up in the last week, and the reason was a part of the DEX, which is a decentralized exchange coin. So a lot of blood in the streets we've seen in the last week here, and you can see some massive drops here on these coins in the top 100. The Fear and Greed Index, this time last week was sitting at 33, and we've dropped back down to 24. I would have expected this number to be much lower than it currently is. Still represents extreme fear at the moment. If we go down the bottom here and just have a look at the graph for the last year, we spent a lot of time here between 20 and 30, from the beginning of September right through to the end of October. We then saw a push up in the market, and we moved from 30 to 40, and now we've dropped back down again between. The retail definitely not joining this party at the moment, the way it looks at extreme fear. If we go and have a look at the Bitcoin chart, and this is on the daily. So if we go and have a look here, first of all, at the Wall Street cheat sheet, which represents the fear and the greed in the market, and it follows a cycle. These cycles can play out on longer terms and can play out even on shorter terms. Where we've come from in a higher time frame. In November last year, we had the 68,800 level. That was euphoria. We then came down into January, went up into March into complacency. and have come all the way down through these other emotionals that we've seen in the market, from anxiety, denial. We had the lunar crisis here in June, where we had panic, capitulation. That came down to 17,600. It went up to 25,000, and then a slow glide down to anger. And this part where we were going up now, we should have been still pushing up here to at least 25.30. And unfortunately, that has been cut short with what's happened in the FTX. And we've had a smaller move to the upside than what we expected. And we seem to be going down into the depression area right now. So if we have a look at the chart here on the daily and just go through those emotions that I've spoken about here, and we can go right back through to November last year, where we had euphoria, came down into January, went up into March, complacency here at 47,000, and then came down. We had sideways here from May to the 11th of June, pretty much on the same level that we were in May to July last year, of 28,500 up to 32,000. We then had the lunar crisis. That was on the 12th of June, came all the way down to 17,500, went up to 25, came down to anger, and that anger piece was supposed to push right up here to at least sort of 25, maybe even retest this level here of 28,400, and then drop off from there. And that has been cut short last week with the news around the FTX. And the reason why I'm saying we should have pushed up here is if we just have a look at the stock market for last week, the stock market, and I'm looking at specifically at the S&P 500, that moved up 5%. It was on the back of the numbers that came through from the US, better than forecasted. So the actual number was 7.7 and the forecast was 7.9. That is indicating a possible pivot in the interest rates in the future. And we saw a massive drop in the strength of the US dollar, the DXY, last week, where it fell from 110 all the way down to 106. And this was really that pushed the market, the stock market up, but not the crypto market. And we even saw the 10-year yield have a drop off also. So Bitcoin should have pushed up last week. At least we should have been on the 25,000, even the 28,000 level right now. But because of FTX, we've had this dump off, and we dropped last week in Bitcoin right from this level of 21,000 down to 15,700. So 27% drop last week. We have recovered slightly from the 15,700, and we're currently at 16,500. So where to from here? And I'm looking at two charts side by side. And the chart on the left-hand side is the 2018 chart, where we were in a bear market from January to December 2018. And I'm looking at specifically towards the end of the year, pretty much. And we can see that we've got a similar play out exactly like we saw in 2018, but it's looking very similar. And we also had a support level here in 2018 of 5,800 that held support from the sort of November 2017. So almost a year that this level held support, that it broke through in the middle of November to the downside, and we had a bleed from that level 5,800 all the way down to 3,500 4 weeks later in the middle of December. So a similar picture right now, where we've had this 18,100 level act as support since the 19th of June this year, and it's broken to the downside last week, and we've got a similar candle structure like we did have there. in 2018. There is a possibility still of us going up to retest this level of 18,186. And if we don't get it on top of that quick enough and get rejected here, then obviously we're going to see much more downside, similar to what we saw here in 2018. So levels to watch to the downside is if we go now onto the weekly chart, and we have to go back to 2020 when we're in this levels like where we are below, like where we currently are, is 14,000. And I need to go into the daily here and go back into history just to see those levels on a daily time frame. So we're currently on this 15,850 was acting as support this morning, and we bounced off that area to the upside. So we got that first support at 15,850. The next support below that is 14,000. That is a major support of 12,500, and you can see this 12,500 goes back to 2017, where this area, I saw the candle here, I think it was, could have been this one. So yeah, it's August 2020 where it was acting support there. Nonetheless, it is an area of support. And then if we go and have a look at previous cycle bear markets, and normally retrace by 85%, between 84 and 86%. Now I've taken a calculator of the high of last year, November of 68,800 minus that 84%, and it comes down to 10,300. And you can see 10,300 here is also area of strong support previously. But we know that the whales are all watching, and they know that the retail are keeping 1,300. So what would a retailer do? A retailer would put all his buy orders above this level here, and then put a stop below the 10,300. So I think what the whales are going to do, if we do come down and get a capitulation here, is actually push price below here, capture this liquidity at the bottom here, and push the price back up again. That's if we do come down to these levels. So that is what I see that's possibly going to take place in the next couple of weeks. That is if we don't reclaim this 18,200 level very quickly. So if we just have a look and see where we are right now, and I'm going to go down onto the 4 hour. So this morning, we've come down to test this 15,850. We found support there at the moment. We've got an area where we've got a range low and we've got a range higher at the moment. And then we got a range halfway between that. And if we take a fib there, and I'm sorry, Fib Smith, for taking your thunder there, 50% is at 16,843 there. Sorry, you can't see. And then we got a mid-range of 16,843 through there like that. So we have got rejected halfway up today, this afternoon, where we started trending up, and it's got rejected on that level there of 16,843. Now, if we go down and look at smaller time frames here, and I'm just going to go through to my other chart here. This is now on the 4 hour. Let me just go to the 2 hour here. We have got a bit of a trend line that's connecting the candle here on the 9th of November and the 10th of November. And we try to push through this afternoon. It's got rejected and it's come down and it's below this mid 16,868 at the moment. So price needs to get above here quickly, 16,868. And then we need to get above that range high of 18,100 up the top here. If we don't do that, then we're in trouble, and we're going to possibly start dropping from here down to test those levels of 14,000 and below that. Going on to the DXY, which is the strength of the dollar. And the reason why we look at this is that we've seen how the DXY has, or the dollar has gained strength this year against a basket of other fiat currencies with the interest rate hikes in the United States. And we got to a current high here in September this year of 115. It got rejected there. It started trending down, and slowly we started to drop here, doing SR flips where we've come on to support, breaking the support and going to the downside, dropping like that. And we have got these white daily support lines that two of them have been broken that came from the 10th of August, and there's this bigger one that got broken here that comes from February this year that has been broken. So right now the DXY is slightly oversold. You can see it's already trying to push up today. It's hit this first resistance and is starting to trend down. We could have a scenario where it turns around and starts moving back up through that resistance to go retest this level of 109.50. Plus, we've got this daily support line at the top here that would be tested in the same time frame. And then where from here? So we've got another important support line here at the bottom here, and this comes from May last year. And I would think that over the next couple of weeks, we would first of all go up and retest, and then come slowly down, go up, come down, break that support, go down, and then come retest this level, and then see from there. That is what we want to see. That will be very bullish for the markets if we see the DXY starting to lose strength to the downside. The other chart we look at is the yields, and specifically the 10-year yield. And what's great about the 10-year yield is that we've broken the support that comes from August this year, broken into the downside. We're in areas, come up to retest this, and then hopefully we'll see at least sideways or preferably down for the 10-year yield. Stock market, as I said, the S&P 500, massive gains last week. We are now at a point of resistance here at 4,000. This chart is quite busy. So I've got your target. I put this here quite a long time ago. It's reached that target, and you can see this area has been acting as resistance previously. And I would imagine we'll start acting as resistance right now. Let's just have a look at that RSI. Okay. I don't see anything on the daily. 4 hours still trending up there. 1 hour starting getting a bit of bearish divergence here. RSI is trending down, lower point than what we saw on Friday at 4:30, yet price is higher than on Friday at 4:30. So a bit of a bearish divergence coming out on the 1 hour only at the moment. But I expect us to get rejected here and possibly come down to retest lower levels here again later in the week. Dow Jones, pretty much the same picture. I would say that we are very close to this resistance here of 34,115, and I've marked out those levels where we've had resistance there previously at 34,115, and we're very close to that level there. So very close to resistance here on Dow also. Total market cap for crypto. Can you believe this time last year we were at 3 trillion? Can you remember that, Donnie?
Yeah, I do, buddy, I do.
So we were at 3 trillion this time last year, right up the top here, and we thought this is going to go to the moon. We were looking at 5 trillion.
We didn't think it's going to go to the moon. It was no thought. We knew.
Yeah, Plan B told us that. So we have been in this channel since November last year for a year right now, and breaking those support areas and just trending down. So it is a bullish structure. The reason why it's bullish, let me just put this in here. So it's a bullish structure with a 68% chance of a break to the upside with the sort of downtrend, but we're still acting in this channel. We haven't broken to the upside or to the downside, unfortunately, yet. We did try to break through here last week. Retest, I think it was about 735 billion, gone up, reclaimed the 765 billion support, and we could possibly go and retest this 850 again. There's a possibility. What would that be? That's about another 8%. There are some other smaller resistance levels here, 820, that could be retested also. But from here, the next level down is 700. And then we need to go back and look a bit of history and see where the next levels are. I think it's about, it was probably about 650. So we got up to, in January 2018, up to the 765. And I would imagine that the levels below here are definitely, yeah, this one at 600. And I said 700. So 700 breaks down to 600. And then we got this, okay, so we've broken through that yellow line there too. Yeah, so 700, then 600. And then total two, pretty much the same picture. Also still in a channel to the downside. Bitcoin, so we're on 470 billion at the moment. Support, strong support here. We're on the support in July this year. Below that, we go down to 400. And then total three, pretty much the same, also in a falling channel. Sorry, I haven't marked this out yet, but I would imagine 300 would be the next support below this. Then Bitcoin dominance. This is quite an interesting chart in the sense that normally when we have a sell-off, the alternative coins will normally drop much quicker than Bitcoin, resulting in the Bitcoin dominance moving to the upside. But what we've seen here, and this is a 4-hour chart last week, that the dominance actually started dropping. And the reason for that is because of Ethereum pretty much holding its price very strong. And because the Ethereum makes up 20% of the market cap, this resulted at this dominance starting to drop here. And we've come down to a major, strong, major support of 39, just about 39.5%. And you can see we're starting to move up again. We're probably going to test the 40.7% again. Donnie, I'm going to stop here. And then we can carry on just that.
Cool. Thank you, Jason. And you have a knack of showing the charts as if it is just as easy as possible. It's just running. And I will ask our special guest to comment on that the moment that I introduced him. But thank you, Jason. And yes, there are important things happening and predicted for the markets in the next fortnight. And we look forward to how it's going to roll out and play out for us. And thank you for putting us into just in the picture for where we are at this very moment. And I must say, you did not draw us a very green upside picture there. You actually were in the red and going sideways and negative. But let's go and introduce you tonight. And we have a special guest, and we look forward to hearing from him for the first time on Crypto Talk, none other than Douglas Webster himself. Douglas is known as the community manager of Binance Southern Africa, and we met him at the Binance meetup in Pretoria earlier this month. No, last month we met him at the Binance meetup, and we know Douglas from previously already, so it was easy to connect with him. And Doug, welcome to your new position and as the community manager of Binance. And we look forward to us strengthening our relationship again and getting ourselves and Binance aligned on the crypto talk on a Monday evening on a regular basis. We look forward to that, and we look forward to your contribution into the community, and allow us to thank you for what you're doing in the background for everyone in the community. And would like to hear from you tonight, and you have a specific topic that you want to talk about tonight. And I'm not going to let the cat out the bag. I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself first and to the team, and then to go on to your topic. What I want to add to about Douglas is that, or Doug, I know that we were introduced to him as Doug, but Douglas, but Doug, we know that 7 years ago, someone told you about crypto and started showing you about crypto. And once you started understanding it, you fell in love with it. And I'll tell you, lots of people on this call have had that same route. Most of the people on the call are in crypto 2015, 16, 17, 18 latest. It's only Phip Smith. That's the young one here. And he's already in crypto nearly 2 years. February will be in crypto for 2 years already. But we will allow him to show you what he's learned in this short space of time. But without further ado, welcome at the Crypto Talk, Doug, as the community manager of Binance Southern Africa.
Thanks, Daniel, and it is a pleasure to be here. It took a couple of weeks thanks to Eskom and our friendly neighborhood load shedding, but finally we have made it to the call. Yeah, so I got involved in crypto about 7 years ago. I would say I fell in love with it, but it's been a very love-hate relationship, up and down at certain moments. Like a couple of ex-girlfriends, you love them at times, but also at times you hate them. But yeah, I've been involved in crypto about 7 years. My main thing about crypto is I just love the community involvement, that type of thing, actually getting to talk ground level with people. That's what I enjoy. And obviously being a technological person, just the advancements it's bringing to the markets, etc. So I'm actually excited to share a bit of something that's a hot topic at the moment, and that is security on exchanges, how to secure your account, and what is the safest method to keep your crypto safe. Obviously, in certain market revelations, I won't talk too much about that for obvious reasons, but it is a hot topic at the moment. People all want to know, how do I keep my crypto safe? How do I prevent this from happening to me? So on and so forth. There are ways you can do it. There are ways exchanges can do it. And I always like to say it's just smart, being a smart human at the end of the day. So without further ado, I'm going to talk a bit about, first off, how can you keep your crypto safest on exchanges? There are other methods such as hard wallets. I will get into that a bit later. But when we talk about exchanges, the biggest thing about an exchange and safety, and Binance prides this on us, we provide our safety for our community, and we also hope the community provides for their own safety. It's a two-way street at the end of the day. You create a wallet on our platform, you enter your passcode. If your passcode is 1234, the chances of your account getting hacked extremely high. So when it comes to creating accounts, etc., I always like to say, don't always pin it on the exchange. People like to say, oh, I got hacked and I don't know how and this and that, but your email address is your name @gmail.com and your password is password1234. Is the blame on the exchange or is the blame on the person at the end of the day? So at Binance, we like to teach 5 basic principles or 6 basic principles to keep your account safe from your side. First one being an extremely strong password. Today's day and age, a little computer sitting on the side of a table, if someone is trying to hack you, it takes exactly 2 seconds to hack a 10-digit passcode. If this is just numbers, it takes 2.5 seconds if this is numbers and letters, and it takes 3 seconds if it's numbers, letters, and special characters. So I always like to say, my passwords, they're all 20 digits long. They've got numbers, they've got letters. Yes, I have to scratch my head sometimes to figure them out, but the more difficult your password is, guys, the better it is to keep your own account safe. Second one, 2-factor authentication. I cannot stress this enough. If you do not have 2-factor authentication on your account, I have to ask, what are you doing? If you're investing in crypto and you have large sums of money, you want as much protection as you can get. So if you don't have 2-factor authentication, I must say, I don't know what's going through your head. And I'm not talking just, for instance, SMS 2-factor authentication. Myself personally, I have 3 layers of 2-factor authentication on my account. I have SMS, I have Google Authenticator, and I have email. One, email can be hacked. So I then have SMS to back that up. Big problem in South Africa people don't know about SIM swapping. I've had my own SIM cloned twice. So on top of that, I have Google Authenticator to back that up on a third level. So put as many layers as possible to protect your own account at the end of the day. Another one, don't know how many exchanges do this, but Binance does this. We have a device management tab on your account. You can actually see what devices have logged into your account, what devices have permission to log into your account. If you first log into an account on Binance with a different device, you actually get an email saying this device logged into your account with IP address, blah, blah, blah. Check those emails, because you never know at the end of the day. You might be going, oh, it's just me. It's a late email or something. It also could be someone hacking your account. The fourth one, not many people use this, withdrawal addresses. So you can actually manage your withdrawal addresses. So on Binance, you can whitelist certain addresses before making a transaction, etc. when you first log on. And that only allows you to ever to withdraw to these accounts. So if someone tries to hack your account and withdraw to their account, they're not whitelisted, they won't be able to withdraw. These are all basic things to protect an account, because again, we can't put it all on exchanges. Being in an exchange, I know the level of security that's at the back. There's also a level of security that comes from the front. You as a front-facing user need to protect yourself as well. One of the biggest problems we have specifically in South Africa, phishing emails. The amount of emails you will get when you have a Binance account or even any of our competitors' accounts saying they're from this place, they're from that place, they're from this place. Binance, we have a thing called a phishing code. When you sign up for an account, you apply for this phishing code. Every email we send you from there on out will have this code in the top of the screen. These are just basic principles to protect your account. On an exchange level, we obviously have security. We do our utmost to make sure your funds are safe. Binance being extremely user-focused, we put our users first. That's what we do at the end of the day. That's what we are about. I can be dead honest right now, if CZ had to choose me or 10 users, he would probably choose the 10 users. That's how user-focused CZ is. He is about the community. He loves it. He's strong with that type of thing. Daniel saw it. He came to our meetups. We are about community and keeping our users happy, safe, in a friendly environment. But that also comes from our user side. Last but not least, when it comes to security from a user side, Binance has a tool. It's called Binance Verify. If you get any emails that you do not think are from Binance, you can actually enter the email address. We will tell you, yes, that's from Binance. No, it's not from Binance. So if you get any dodgy emails, like where the I actually looks like a capital L or the L looks like a capital I, use Binance Verify. Check what that's about. It's a very simple tool. Enter the URL. It'll tell you, is this a verified person, a Telegram account? Is it a verified web address? Is it a verified email? Simple ways. Just keep yourself safe. At the moment, we all know the markets are in panic. We probably had one of the darkest days in crypto last week. Everyone wants to secure their accounts. It's quite simple at the end of the day. There's other ways, obviously more extreme measures. Some people like hard wallets. I myself do actually have a hard wallet. This is like a USB stick where no one's getting a hold of that unless they take it off my body, and probably still aren't getting into it at the end of the day. So guys, I urge, in these troubled times, these dark days, secure your account, secure your funds, make sure you are keeping everything safe from your side. So if something does happen, you know you've done your best. It's not your fault at the end of the day. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not going to name a name or anything. I've worked in other exchanges. I honestly don't want to say it. I laughed at people who came to me and said, I've been hacked. I'm like, how did you get hacked? Oh no, I got an email from a guy asking me to give him 2,000 Rand and my account details, and he had turned it into 5,000 Rand. At the end of the day, that is not an exchange's fault. You gave away your details, cannot pin that on us. If you'd gone the other way and actually secured your account, not done these type of things, then it could be the exchange's fault. So always protect your side first, then worry about the exchange. The exchanges, there's a lot of talk about how the exchanges are out here to destroy everything, ruin the crypto markets, etc. They wouldn't be here if that was the case. If exchanges were out to monopolize, get rid of the markets, etc., crypto would have been gone long ago. Exchanges are here to better crypto. Go look at CZ's Twitter. I think, and I might get the name wrong, he had a recovery fund that he put live today. This is to help certain projects that were on chains that collapsed actually now get the money they need to recover and start building their projects again. This is not something that massive exchanges would do if they didn't see something in crypto, if they didn't want to grow the communities. So I know there's a lot of fear in the market. I myself was scared seeing the news unravel, but rest assured, I've always maintained this. It's a rule of thumb. I've always said, crypto is like that annoying guy in primary school. As many times as you knocked him down, he got up and he said, hit me again, hit me again, hit me again. Crypto will bounce back, in my opinion. I know Jason showed us some very non-positive looking charts. Everyone is panicking. Everyone's going mad. Daniel told me, most of you have been in crypto since 2015. Look where we are now. Look where we were then. If crypto was really dumping and going and it's gone, it's on its last legs, we would not still be sitting where we are. So lastly, I'm going to say it again. Please keep your account secure from your side. I'm not sure if Daniel's going to open up the chat for people to ask questions. But yeah, from my side, keep your account secure from your end. So if something like this does happen, you know you're safe from your side at the end of the day. So thanks, Daniel, for inviting me on. I don't know if there are going to be questions. I will hopefully be on next week, depending on Eskom's lovely schedules for us.
Cool. Thank you, Douglas. And we really appreciate that. Yes, the chat box is open. People can only chat to us as the co-host of the call. They cannot talk to one another, just to safeguard everyone, because we make sure that we safeguard everyone, because as any other place, we have people that come onto the chat to abuse others. And so we safeguard you even on our chats on the Crypto School. So thank you, Doug, for that. And yes, we read a number of tweets in the past week from people that we've never read a tweet before. And it was interesting to see how some things just unraveled, but there are still always, all the time, people trying to help and assist to get that back to normalcy or normality. And I know normalcy and normality is not always the easiest thing to achieve, but they are really trying. And we really see that CZ is trying, CZ as you call him, is trying his utmost. And I've seen that today or yesterday, I've seen the announcement of the fund, memory serves me right. I've seen a tweet from him with regards to the proposed announcement or proposal of the fund, and today that it was actually happened. So thank you for that, Douglas, and you're always welcome. Remember, just talk to us before Crypto Talk. If you need a slot, if you don't need a slot, you're welcome to be on the call. If you need to say something, have something to the community, please feel free, and make sure that you tell us when the next meetup is in the different areas. We have people across the nation on this call, and we will make sure that we register for your meetups and come and visit you. But thank you for that. Before we go to Jason and to go see the actual charts that we're here to see tonight, let's just go and introduce our young gun, Fib Smith. Andre, thank you, Andre, for what you bring to the party. No one will believe it when we tell them that you're only in the business for a year and a half, but with what you learned and what you're willing to share with us. And before we go back to Jason to wrap up this meeting for us to go back into the charts and go look at the different crypto, Fib, what do you have up your sleeve for us for tonight?
Yeah, good evening, guys. I don't want to take too much time. Just quickly want to share my screen. So first of all, and I shared this with Jason also this week, and this is on the weekly chart. This is on Bitcoin, and I charted out here what divergences is this. And there's a lot of guys that say that maybe this can be a double bottom still, but the rules for a double bottom is usually if the price can actually go a bit lower, but usually it's 4-5% lower than what the price was. So that doesn't, and for this is like 10% already. So yeah, for me this doesn't really count as a double bottom. So I'm also more bearish, and with that bearishness comes that I don't know how many months of waiting for that orders to be. Yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so firstly, let me just show you. Obviously, not obviously if you don't really know, but how you see a bearish divergence is usually you can see on the RSI or whatever oscillator you're using, something has to happen on the top, then it's bearish. If something happens at the bottom, it's bullish. Okay, so you can see here the RSI pushes the price up, it looks like it's pushing it, so that is bullish. Okay, so we have on the weekly, we have a strong bullish divergence. Okay, for this bullish divergence to be cancelled out, the RSI needs to go below this yellow line here at the top. Okay, so then this bullish divergence is actually cancelled out. Okay, but we also have a bearish divergence at the top, a hidden bearish divergence actually, and this is actually a nice. I love to trade this chart because I love to trade hidden bearish or bullish divergences because I know I can put my stop loss here at this yellow line, because once the price gets above that line, I know the bearish divergence is actually cancelled out. But anyways, I'm not trading this now. I'm just showing you guys this, no financial advice. Okay, so if the price goes above this point, then obviously this bearish divergence is cancelled out. Yeah, so what I want you guys to remember, and every single time you do a trade, just think about this. If everybody is thinking something, it's going to most probably go the opposite way. And what is that saying? The market makers let you, I don't know, make money. I don't know how many times, but you consistently are losing money. So they just make you feel good, and then they just take all your money back. Okay, but anyways, so yeah, just ask yourself, like, are you following the herd, or are you actually following the market makers? And that's probably the biggest questions. So yeah, I'm really bullish because we are still in the 786, 887 zone. Now, I know this is still a long way to go to go to that 887 zone. So I have my orders placed in the air for the long term. But what I actually wanted to share with you guys is, and this is without the crypto, this is not the chart related, but TradingView, and I don't know how long it's been there, but I recently discovered this. So here at the top, that plus button, so where you actually add the new chart, you can just click there, and then there's different stuff here. Okay, so there you can see there's a screener, and I'm just gonna make it a bit bigger. Okay, it doesn't work, but anyways, you can click there on crypto pairs, for instance, and then let me just place a few charts. So here you can see all the crypto pairs, and you can check the price, SMAs. There's a lot of stuff. I haven't even gone through everything. Okay, so that is a screener. But what I do is this is a heat map as well. It's not so good. I like crypto bubbles more, but here is something called news flow, and this is really cool. So here you can select all, or you can select stocks or crypto. So I'm interested in crypto. So once you click there, you can see news on TradingView. How cool is that? So now, for instance, there is a FTT from bad to worse. There is a costly mistake. So there's a lot of news in the market on TradingView. So you don't even have to go to a different browser or whatever. So once you click there, it takes you here, and then you can read. This is the 14th of November. You can read there. You can even react to it. And there you can go back in time and see all the news regarding FTX. This is, I really like this. And I don't know where, but the other day I found a chart where on the chart it shows you where news events happen, but I couldn't find it anymore. I don't know. But anyways, okay, so yeah, it's really cool. And then that's the news, and you can just click there and it shows you the chart. Okay, and then there's snaps. It's also like news. But yeah, it's basically the same, but yeah, so I really like this. And how much time do we have left? Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna leave the next. Oh, here it is. I just told you guys I can't find where I got it. So you can see on P500, you can see where different news events happened and what it actually did to the market, which is really cool. Now, for me, we as like Jason as well, who likes the TA, we know like something, the chart tells us something, then we know something's going to happen in the news, because yeah, that's just how they work. But yeah, this is really cool. I think I'm going to save what I want to share for next time, but I'm going to give to Jason for now to continue what he wanted to share. But yeah, thanks guys. There's my stop share.
Cool. Thank you. Andre, and you always bring something, and sometimes you have to go find it by luck on the screen, but that's just who you are. Thank you for sharing that with us. Jason, we're back with you, buddy. You have loads of charts to still show us and talk to us about. Please go.
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, it's just really a discussion here around. I can bring up loads of charts, but I think they really are the same message. So Ethereum is obviously the second biggest coin in the crypto market, and Ethereum's been in this white channel also. Sorry, this white channel, this chart is very busy. It's been in this white chart since November last year, and we came down this year right down to $870, and we went right up to 2,000 on the middle of August, and then we had the ETH merge in the middle of September, where we came down, we went back up to about $1,800. We have come down again. We found support here in September at around about 1,300. We then moved up into this $1,600 level in the October, end of October into November. And then last week we had that massive drop in the crypto market. And if we look at Ethereum, came from that 1,600 all the way down to 1,100. And now it is forming a bearish orange. And the reason why it's bearish because the entries from the top, and it normally leads to continuation. And in this instance, the continuation will be down to the downside. But there's also a 38% chance we actually break to the upside out of this bearish pennant to the upside. And that'd be obviously be null and void. So if we start losing levels here in Bitcoin, and I pointed out some levels here of 14,000, 10,300, and we look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Now, the reason why we look at this chart is because we want to work out more or less where would Ethereum come down to if Bitcoin comes down to those three different levels. So if we go to look at Ethereum Bitcoin on the daily, and we just go back here in history, we can see that we have got this nice white trend line, support line that comes from March last. We did touch here in June this year, and you can see that we went up here in September at the ETH merge right up to an area here of 0.085. So if you took the Ethereum price and put it over Bitcoin, it would have been 0.085. But since then, we have started to trend down again. We came here to a level in September right down here of 0.068, moved up again. And then if we go into smaller time frames, we did come down and retest that level, 0.0675, gone back up again. And it looks like we could possibly come down and retest these lower levels again, or even possibly the support line at 0.064. So if you take Bitcoin and just work out, if we come down to example 12,500 times 0.064 would give us a Ethereum price of $800. If we come down to $10,000 on Bitcoin and times it by 0.064, it'll give us $640. And if we go into the Ethereum chart just to look at those levels, a break of this major support here of $1,000 would take us down to that 840 and 640 level there that I've marked off here. I have put this 840 into a dark, thicker line. And the reason why I've done that is if we just go back here into 2018, sorry, this is what I was looking at, 2018, you can see that this 840 was acting in resistance there. in May 2018. So I think this 840 will be very strong, start moving to the downside. And then if we do go down to 10,000 on Bitcoin, I think we'll definitely come down and test the 680 level, or even a bit lower than that. So that as far as what. Yes, Daniel.
Sorry, man.
So that is what we're looking at Ethereum. Now, just getting back to saying that if we compare to 2008, if we do have this drop off like we had in 2018 and start coming down to these levels here, I do think we'll find a bottom here at around, as I say, around about 10,300 if we come all the way down here. And then going into December, we've got the FOMC meeting. Last week, the CPI came in at 7.7%, off a forecasted number of 7.9, which was a indication that possibly inflation is coming under control. And the idea around that is that the Fed would start pivoting now in the FOMC meeting in December, where we've had previously 275 basis points increases. There will be possibly a pivot where we will go down to 50 or even 25. And if we do get that, I would say that going into 2023, once again, based off the Fed starts pivoting, and that would include crypto too. So hopefully we will bottom out here similar to 2018 in December, and then going into 2023 will start moving up off that low there, moving to the upside. Just a reminder that do not put your buy orders at this level and a stop below this. There will definitely be whales going down to capture liquidity, I think even below 10.3. And we just have to be careful of that. So the idea is always to try and put your sort of buy orders at specific levels. And what I've done previously, I've actually waited for the market to start moving up before I've actually bought. I've never bought to the downside because you don't know where exactly flashing candle is going to stop. Will it stop at 10,300? Will it stop at 3,000? We are not too sure when there's massive fear in the market. I've always waited for the market to start turning around. I don't try and predict bottoms or tops. I wait for the market to start turning around, start moving up, and then I start buying from there. So that's just some sort of advice from my side. Thank you, everybody. Can't hear you, Daniel.
You can't hear me because I'm muted. Thank you, Jason. And yes, you always make it look so easy. And thank you for that good advice. Thank you for showing us the levels that we had to go look at and to be alert to. And Smith is smiling all the way because he had those orders in from way back when everyone thought that we're going to go to gazillion. He had his orders where we are wandering territory that we're wandering into now. Well done, Fib Smith. Andre, your last comments for this evening.
I had my orders in because that's what I thought is going to happen. But I want to say, and I left my orders there, I really want to say, I was like 80% sure the bottom was already in. So guys, yeah, I want to ask you, if you have a strategy, like I did, place your orders, leave it there, and just let it execute your orders. Because once stuff happens in the market, your emotions get to you or whatever, you're going to change it. So it's really important. And we have the time now. I looked at my watch and said we have the time. But anyways, we have the time and we are privileged to have coins at such cheap prices. So really go work through your portfolio, go look at what coins are not really good coins, go see what you want in the future, what you believe is going to work, and invest in that coins, because most of the coins are going to go to zero, and there's just some of them that's going to stay. So yeah, choose wisely, but dude, don't wait until everything has already blown up and then dan word jy wakker. Don't do that. Invest now, change your stuff now, whatever, and move the stuff you want for the long term, move it to a MetaMask. If you don't have a ledger, at least move it to MetaMask so that it's off exchanges. You can even move USDT.
Sorry, but I don't recommend MetaMask. We need to encourage the community to get ledgers.
Yeah, no, that's why I said, if you don't have a ledger.
Yeah, we've seen compromise already on MetaMask, so we need to make sure that everybody tries to get a ledger. Takealot do sell those ledgers. So yeah, and make sure when you get the box that is sealed.
Yeah, don't buy from everybody. Don't buy from me or Jason or Donnie. We might steal your stuff. But anyways, thanks guys.
Cool, thank you, Andre. Jason, your last words for tonight.
Yeah, my kill is this here. I can talk abroad.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Crypto Talk for the 14th of November. Go and make sure you have a strategy. Make sure you stick to that strategy. Thank you for everyone that's been on the call. Doug has left the call. He's not feeling well, but he told me before the time that he will leave the call. And I thought he was going to stay a little longer, but then I saw him drop off. So in his absence, thank you, Doug, from Binance visiting us. And he said he will come visit us every Monday evening going forward, as long as he doesn't have load shedding. Thank you, Jason, for making the chart simple, telling us exactly where we are. Thank you, Andre, for helping us to go and widen our view. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Crypto Talk. Have a blessed one. We really wish you green candles somewhere in this week. Have a blessed one. Bye-bye.